It's thinking.
Oh.
It's thinking. We did this once before, but at least the video is still working. It's just processing. This is what happens every time we work on the computer. Looks like it's working. Hey, I think we got it.
Okay.
I think we got it. First time with the computer, so bear with us if it's not working. And yep, comments are coming up.
Really?
Hello. We'll see.
I can't see anything.
Well, they're not coming up yet.
Oh,
People
okay.
aren't on yet that I know of, but we're running anyway, so that's an
we're
improvement.
up. We're running. That's good, and it's a bigger screen.
So we can see everything now. Welcome everyone. I don't know. I've lost count. Day four.
Day four of Witches Social with Melinda and Jeremy. So, and yeah, we're live.
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah,
and
we're
people
live.
are logging in. Hi. Welcome.
How do you see that?
Right
Where
there.
are you seeing
and
it?
Tabitha says hello.
Hi, Tabitha.
And that must be the Tabitha from this morning, because I don't recognize the last name. So, wow, that's pretty cool. Tabitha called us up first thing this morning. She was, I guess earlier this afternoon.
Yeah.
Was looking for a few things, and throughout the conversation, we suggested that she log in because some of the thoughts and concerns and questions she had were very much everything that we were talking about right now.
Well, what we have been talking about.
Yeah. So you want to recap a little bit?
Over. I feel like I'm
or we can
lost in there. Okay, because I keep like ducking out.
Yeah.
So, recap. So day 4, Witches Social with Melinda and Jeremy. As you come on, just give a little hello or a hey so we can see you. We are on the laptop now, so it's a little different for us. So what we're doing basically is... Oh, is that people coming on? Okay. Hi, Bree. Hi, Melissa. And yes, Tabitha was the one that was in today. And Charmaine's back. Love to see you guys. So with the Witches Social, we used to do this about a year ago, but we've kind of got a lot on our plates. So we stopped doing an in-house Witches Social. But it was a lot of fun. So it was just an opportunity for people to get together, like-minded individuals, talk about any topics, ask questions, throw out some comments there. We got lots of people. Leslie or Ron from the paranormal group are here. Great to see you. I'm not sure which one because it's RRLC Paranormal.
Yeah. It's Leslie.
It's got to be Leslie.
Yeah.
Suzanne, hey, how's it going? And Charmaine's really enjoying our Witches Social days. That's awesome. So it's just a good time to meet. 2:00 every day. We get on here. We pick a topic, but we do ask you guys to offer up suggestions anytime you have it. You're free to comment. It is a social. So comment, be engaging, ask questions. Oh, it's Ron.
Oh, it's Ron.
We were wrong. What kind of witches are we?
Bad
witches.
Bad witches. Yeah.
So recapping what we did yesterday. You know what? I put Jeremy in the hot seat yesterday, and he kind of told us about his journey and path towards witchcraft. It was personal. It was intimate. I asked some pretty tough questions, as did you guys. He was pretty tired when he got home last night. He went to bed and slept until about 9:30 today, which is not normally what Jeremy does. Yep. He's like a 6 a.m. up and at him kind of guy. So we tuckered him out with emotions yesterday. But yeah, it was great. What we did recognize from yesterday was we had some really good feedback about how people were feeling jumping onto their journey of spirituality or witchcraft, and that they are trying to get as much information as they can because they feel they're lacking or feel that they're behind because they started so late in life, as did Jeremy. So he's really been on this journey for about 7 years. You never once consider that it's late in life. And I like to see that from you, because you do take everything from the past and it had to happen in order for you to get here today. So that's a recap from yesterday. Just a couple more shout outs. What do we got? Michael's in here. Yep. David, Jackie. Hey guys, love to see you. Glad you're all coming on. So that's a recap from yesterday. I guess I should say you guys can call in too if you want, right? So 226-931-1419. I have my phone here, so if you want to call in to discuss something, if you don't feel like typing it out, by all means you can call in.
What's
And
the number again?
226, you don't know my phone number?
Not off the top of my head.
226
Yep.
931
931.
1419. That is where you can reach Jeremy and Melinda if you guys want to talk about some stuff during the video here. We encourage it.
Yep.
So today, though, we're going to move on to a different topic, but I think you want to say
related.
A few words.
Yep,
it's kind of related. Yes.
Yeah. A couple things that jumped out at us yesterday, and I'm going to throw my Uncle Graham out here for this, and we're so appreciative of everything he does. He comments. He lots of encouragement from way out east.
Yeah, support.
So grateful for everything that he does. But something that kind of stood out, was the tendency towards regrets into the past. And I've been there before as well. I do have a tendency to think that way. Don't think that I'm not prone to this. But from my current position, I recognize that serves me no good. And I think that is part of the struggle that I dealt with in the past. And recognizing now that doesn't serve me well, how do we move forward with that? And that's kind of got to be the context of what we're discussing today. And just to use Graham as an example, in one breath he says that everything happens for a reason, but in the next breath, that's also part of the struggle, is recognizing that we need to let go of some of the things that have happened in the past, because they do go to form and make us who we are today. But it is still very challenging to let go of possible pains, traumas, issues, regrets, all of that sort of stuff. So I'm going to say thank you to Uncle Graham for adding into the conversation yesterday in such a way that gave us a little insight on where to go today with this. And he wasn't the only one.
No,
there were a few
was
conversations
a few other people.
about what if I had started this sooner? What if I had come out as a witch sooner? What if I had joined on this journey sooner in life? Well, guess what? It probably wouldn't have happened. It probably wouldn't have worked out the way it has now. We talked briefly about being kind of awoken to the perspective of magic and witchcraft, and how overwhelming that can be, taking in all of the power, the intention, the energy.
And how people scramble to get as much as they can to keep feeding that. They tend they don't realize that it is the small personal journey that means the most.
Yeah.
So we really want to talk about this today. Leslie's on too. So Ron's on and Leslie's on. I love that. Nicole is on, and I miss you. I haven't seen you forever, and she thinks you're cute.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, of course. And Rebecca's back. Jeremy's my eye candy. So yeah, anything else you want to say about Graham, or
no, I don't want to look like we're harping on him, but I do want to.
He's not here yet today.
Well, no, but he'll probably join in later. And we are so grateful for all your contributions. And I guess in context of what this is for a period of time we were kind of distanced because of time, space, everything, and there may be some regrets as to what has happened in the past, where our paths took us, where our lives were leading us, but we're not there now. We're in a different place. We're in a healthier place, and I'm grateful for everything that has happened and everything that has led us to where we are today, and excited to see where that goes together, and to not get lost in that perspective of the journey.
So really it's about, for you and Graham, it's about the relationship aspect. Maybe he feels a little robbed because he couldn't have a relationship with you when you were younger.
Maybe it was complicated, whatever.
Right? Yeah. For whatever reasons. But now you do have a relationship with him.
We do.
I have a relationship with him. So, I mean, that's important to live now and in the moment, knowing that. So anyways, that's enough about that. Nancy and Melissa Joe, eye candy. So I'll let you guys in on a little secret. When Jeremy first started reading tarot cards, this is totally off topic. I was like, yes, you're reading tarot cards. I'm teaching you how to do this, because guess what? You're going to be my personal eye candy, and women are just going to flock to have readings with you. I wasn't wrong.
No.
I'm never wrong. Women love getting readings by Jeremy.
She thinks it's because I'm eye candy. It's really because I'm soft and gentle.
You're soft and gentle. Anyways, okay. So can you explain for everyone exactly what the purpose of today's conversation is? What do we want to do with them? What do we want to help? What are we encouraging here?
Okay, well, In a nutshell, basically, it's really about evaluating the past, encompassing the idea of the future, but recognizing that the grounded attitude here is it's all about the present. That's the only thing that we have any control over, and that's well, essentially, here you go. I'm gonna give it all away. This is pretty much what every tarot reading I do is about in some form or another. It's really about recognizing what I can do today based on what's happened yesterday and where I'm trying to go in the future. So if I were to wrap this up into a nutshell, it's really all about that. And since the essence of this really stemmed off of the idea of creating energy around our environment, our mood, our current status, our
knowing who you are as a person, as a witch, as a spiritualist.
This is the only thing that we have any control over is the here and now. Now, it does stem from the belief and the assumption that things from the past may be holding us back, or our perception of what happened in the past could be holding us back. And that's something that you need to address and you need to evolve and change.
For example, we had some comments yesterday about coming late to the craft.
Sure.
And they look at that as being maybe a negative situation, where I look at it as being a positive situation.
Sure.
So here today we're looking at changing anything that has hindered you from the past to living now in the present or obtaining goals in the future. So I think basically that's what we're working on today. That's what we're doing, past versus present versus future. So we want to talk about it, share some of our experiences. We want to hear some of your experiences and where you're at in your life. And then maybe some ways, tools that we can provide to help you move forward with it.
We want there to be a magical aspect to this as well, because essentially that's who we are, magical people, and that's what categorizes our life. That's what propels us forward. And we're going to share a couple of ideas at the end as to how we can embrace all of this, wrap it all up in a nice, tidy little package, and let you move forward. But I think it really stems with, first and foremost, sorry.
Nope, before you get going, I just want to acknowledge some of the comments coming in, because that's part of the social aspect. So we miss you guys too. That's from Ron and Leslie. We do miss our visits with you guys. Some good talks. Nancy is now on. Hello to Nancy. I saw her in there somewhere. And Holly Dunkley thinks we should put Jeremy in the front window.
Guess what? That's where we are.
That's where we're at right now, Holly. We're in the front window where Jeremy does the tarot readings.
When we first started setting up the shop, we were laying things out, and I was like, let's make the front windows reading rooms and things like that. I'm like, oh, that probably won't work. That's not a good idea. Well,
that was my idea.
We better put up curtains just in case. And I think out of all the readings that I've done here, maybe 10 people have ever closed the curtains for privacy.
Yep.
Or maybe a little bit of shyness or embarrassment or something. But no, and it's really funny because that does generate a lot of interest. Even the people walking past as we're doing this, they're like,
they're looking in, they're waving
at us. And, yeah.
So it's kind of weird.
I have the odd lady that walks past and crosses herself as she goes by, and I'm pleased. I did your reading 2 years ago. Keep walking, you know. It is amusing, and it is. You know what? I'm here because the light is wonderful, and it just feels nice to be inside while appreciating the outside. So
it's a nice space. I like doing it here, and the table is big enough, and we can both like fit in here, and
and we'll move around throughout the shop so that the picture doesn't get stale.
Okay, so for you guys today, I'm encouraging you to share your experiences. Share maybe things that have held you back in the past. Maybe, like Jeremy said, we hate the word trauma because it really puts a whole victimized aspect onto you. So it doesn't have to be traumatic. It just can be something that you keep going back to.
Something that you can't let go of, maybe.
Right. So for me, it's, I don't know, I get all grumpy, like, apparently, when I see the succession of other individuals within my field of expertise, which is the craft. And I get a little grumpy because I wish that I would have been able to start this journey sooner. So my grumpiness comes off in my energy, and that's what Jeremy feels it is. But for me, it's more like a motivation, a kick in the pants. Yes, I may be a little behind where my other colleagues are, but it's a motivation tool. That's how I use it. So I don't dwell on it, and I don't become victimized about it. I use it as a motivation tool and a kick in the pants, but my energy comes off as grumpy.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes she fails to see that the dreams and goals that she has set for herself. Sorry, I'm throwing you under the bus here.
It's fine.
But for the purpose of our conversation today, the dreams and the goals that you have are very aggressive. They're a long ways down the road from where we currently are, and we're not going to get there overnight.
I am.
Well, okay. Let me know, and I'll do my best to keep up.
Yes.
But no, this is the challenge: is we can't get there any faster than we currently are. It'll go slower if we don't keep in perspective and work towards our goals day to day to day to day. But we're not going to get there overnight. And regrets from not being on the journey sooner are irrelevant because, in all honesty, if 7 years ago when you had opened the shop,
I started
or earlier than that, for
I started the shop stuff 10 years ago. It took me 2.5 years to do it properly.
Right.
So all the research and everything. So,
but even then, the current path that you were on was not a successful path. A
No.
lot of things had to happen before you could be on the path to get to where you are. And we talked even beyond that. Before that, your opinion of commerce and jobs, careers, etc. when you were younger was funny because it forced you into where you didn't want to be. You said, I will never be a employee. You said I would never be in this position, and you had to be there. And it was you see it as an unfortunate thing, or you did then.
I did at the time.
But now you recognize that those, 14 years in that career?
14 years in a retail career.
A retail career programmed you to be
when I was
young,
so a teenager, I specifically did not want to live the same lifestyle as my parents. Now, I was a teenager, so please don't hold this against me because I love my parents. My parents are amazing. And as a teenager, we don't know everything as kids. What? Yeah, what? So I saw their life as being different than what I wanted. I wanted to have a superior career at the time, and I thought being a lawyer or something was a superior career, where my parents worked in retail. Now, as an adult, I took the same route as my dad. I worked at Sobeys for 14 years, but my dad and Sobeys taught me everything I know today to run my own retail business. Yep. So let's put the witchcraft stuff aside. That's a personal choice. I chose to do my retail business as witchcraft, but I learned everything I needed to know to be a good businesswoman and entrepreneur from the very person that I didn't want to be like as a 14-year-old teenager.
So right there, we look at the situation and say, okay, if only I had started 14 years ago when the dream was there, how much further ahead would I be today?
I wouldn't.
Probably you wouldn't be, because you needed those 14 years.
I needed those lessons
in order to get there. So
I needed that structure.
A lot of people get lost in that mindset that, oh, woe is me, I should have started 14 years ago. I'd be so much further ahead. Well, guess what? Today, you are where you're supposed to be. Today, you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. If you're looking into the past, you're not moving forward well. And this was an example that I used for you once before. If we're looking at this as running a race, how effective are we running if we're looking over our shoulder with regrets, or to see who's close on our heels, or to see what's going on from the past, from earlier? We're not moving forward effectively or efficiently.
Before we go on to that, I just want to say, because my parents do watch these videos.
Oh, yeah.
I love them. They are my number one supporters, and I would not be the woman I am today without the support and lifestyle of my parents. So you guys have to understand this. They are 100% a part of the shop and who I am, and they encourage me to be that person. So don't take my actions as a 14-year-old or my comment as a 14-year-old as being negative. It just is shaping who I am today. What I thought as a teenager is not the reality as an adult, and I prefer the life that I have right now and the life that I've lived.
And to take that a step further, I mean, the pride that we have in your father's career.
Oh, he's amazing.
He is pinnacle in the community. He's recognized for his achievements, for what he's done and accomplished.
44 years at the same place and retired from that place with a stature in the community. I mean, I couldn't ask
and your mom's
anything
role
better.
In that can't be unrecognized either. Everything goes to form us and to shape us into who we are in these people. Not only for you, but for myself as well. I hold them in high esteem, high regard for that. So, yeah, good point in making that.
I just want to make it clear, I'm not a terrible daughter. So, talking about looking behind you while running a race, it is a comment that Jeremy makes to me often.
Just a reminder.
Just a reminder. Yeah. I have a tendency of looking around me at other businesses, and I get very upset and discouraged when people start treading on my ideas, my thoughts, my platform as a business platform, because I work very hard to create a unique business platform. And when I first started, people kind of gave me, I don't know, they shrugged it off. They're like, oh, it'll never work. It'll never happen. That business platform is wrong. Oh my God, I can't believe she's doing witchcraft. Shame on you. I took a lot of flack from companies, from businesses, from other spiritualists out there because I did witchcraft and stuck to witchcraft in my retail shop. Now, we're talking 7 years later, I see all of those people jumping on my bandwagon that I started 7 years ago. And it becomes a very sore topic with me. I get very agitated, very upset when I see people jumping on a topic that they gave me crap about 7 years ago. So Jeremy's always like, you can't win the race by looking behind you.
Yeah, she gives me another her.
I do. I give a fine, and off I go and get inspired and motivated to be better and stronger than those people around me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. So really, what we've done is we've neutralized the resentment from the past.
Yes.
And we've taken it. Hey, there's
Hi, Graham.
You're gonna have to catch up because we referenced you a little bit. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry.
We love you.
Love you. Absolutely. So really what it is about is staying grounded in the moment.
Yeah.
And this is where we tend to flounder. We get so absorbed with the past, or so optimistic about the future, or in some cases negatively focused on the future, that we forget the only thing that is truly relevant and important and is right here, right now. What are you going to do about this? And I think what started the catalyst for this entire conversation really was, how do people not get lethargic? How do they keep that energy moving? Well, it's not about tomorrow. It's not about yesterday. It's about now.
Right now.
What are you physically doing?
This is what you can control. This is what you can change, is the present, right here and right now. Does it reflect on the future? Yes, of course it reflects on the future, as does our past shape us and form us as to who we are. So you have to consider all three: past, present, and future.
While not getting caught up in
either one of them. It's
Yep.
a healthy balance, and that's exactly what you said today. It's a healthy balance of knowing where you come from, knowing who you are, and having a glimpse of, I'd like to do this in the future.
Mm-hmm. So in the present, in the moment of being here and now, there are two key things that you can consider. First of all, and we discussed this yesterday, is knowing who you are. Recognizing everything's gone together to make you who you are today. Who are you? And realistically, what is holding you back? Now, if it's a thing from the past, we don't just sweep it under the rug. We don't pretend it didn't exist.
We don't get rid of it. We don't release it or dispose of it.
No, it's essential.
We utilize it.
We work with it.
Yes.
And recognizing what's hindering us is definitely the step forward. Melinda coming to the recognition that everything made her who she is today through going through 14 years of retail establishment. Maybe the sense of humility from recognizing that you can't get to where you are without actually being where the people you didn't necessarily want to have that career vocation idea with is essential. It all goes to playing part of that, and it didn't hold her back. It actually launched her forward?
So we do watch lots of shops and people create businesses. So again, witchcraft aside, because that's just my take on a retail shop. Other people have other ideas, but we do watch these people open and close, open and close, open and close. And I would have been one of those numbers if it weren't for the 14 years experience of my retail background. I learned a lot in there. And if it wasn't for my parents as well, because they play a role in that too. Yep. So I couldn't have been the person I am without going through that past. Mm-hmm. So I have to realize that and recognize I couldn't have done this entrepreneurial role any sooner than the 10 years ago when I started.
Ironically, even when you opened up, you were not on the right path yet.
No.
You were opening the doors, which led to an adjustment, a trajectory change, which ironically was very challenging, very difficult time of your life. We were talking about this today as well as trying to actually pinpoint what the reference was, but we were talking about our current, like our connected past.
Our connected past. Yep.
If you want to elaborate a little bit more on that.
Just that. So I didn't start Melinda's Enchanted Cottage with Jeremy. I did start it with my ex-husband, but again, it was like 6 months of business and we split up and he asked me to shut the business down. So I did. So it was actually Mulder's Enchanted Cottage back then. And it was closed after it opened for 6 months and then closed after 6 months. I tried to go it alone after that with Melinda's Enchanted Cottage, me by myself. But I was a single mom. I was raising 3 children. I had no financial income. That's some of the burdens that Jeremy's talking about, the struggles that I went through with my separation. And it wasn't feasible for me to work Melinda's Enchanted Cottage as well as earn an income. So I had to go get a job. And guess where I went? Back to Sobeys. So I spent 14 years at Sobeys learning retail management. Then I went back to Sobeys and they took me with open arms because of who I am and what I do. And that was my income that supported me during my separation. So it wasn't until I met Jeremy through the shop, Melinda's Enchanted Cottage, that he jumped aboard the retail business, and that's what makes it work today. The two of us together, my dream, my desire, my inspiration and creativity combined with my managerial skills, combined with Jeremy, who has been entrepreneurial his entire life. So without those connections, Melinda's Enchanted Cottage wouldn't work without the two of us. Mm-hmm. So just before we continue, Teddy Wilson.
She's been grounding through meditation for years without even understanding what it was. I'm trying now to use that in everyday life and in moments such as it's such a life-changing process. And if you've logged in with us before, you do know that that's part of my daily regime as well. Meditation in the morning. Skipped it this morning because I was still punky and lethargic from yesterday. But it's it is a very key way to stay grounded and in the moment, to be self-aware, to recognize that here, today, now is all we really currently have. Now, in light of that as well, that's your aspect, your story, and we talked about briefly about what if we connected earlier, and this was, you guys know a little bit from yesterday of my spiritual path, the direction that I had to take and the challenges that I had to amass and surmount in order to get here. Oh, Uncle Graham saying you're having a hard time hearing me. It's because I'm not as loud as Melinda. Sorry.
That's part of the conversation today too.
We're in a small room, so I can move the mic if that helps. We did bump into each other when we were younger. We have had pasts where
17.
We've connected, and when we traced our synchronicity back, we recognized that in this current place, 17, when we were 17, when you were 17.
When I was 17, so you would have been 19.
19.
Yeah.
It was not the right time. It was not the right place, and the current mindset that I was in was set so that it would have failed. Guaranteed, hands down, would not have worked.
Our relationship would have failed if we had started back at that age.
So we can look at it and say, oh, what if only this had happened back then, or where would we be today? Well, I can assure you that we would not be where we are today if that had happened back then. I was not in the headspace for it. I was not in a place of mind.
He was not open to witchcraft.
Nope. Nope. I had to have a few more conversations with a few key people to open my mind to a place where, as I shared before, I wasn't, I wouldn't have crossed the street if there was an occult shop on it. That's just an example. But no, it was the recognition and the honesty within myself to know that I could not have gotten here if I had joined in back then. I wasn't the person I needed to be in order to be here. So no regrets, no wallowing in that. There's no point. It's irrelevant. But what is important is setting a goal and idea for the future while recognizing that the only thing I have any control over is here and now. So that is a key part to this, is really about recognizing all three aspects: the past, the present, the future, without getting caught up in either the future or the past in a way that prohibits us from moving forward in the present, because that's really all we've got.
So Michael just made a comment, and I absolutely love it, because it is 100% how I live my life. So I love the fact that it is possible to derive positive energy even from the most negative experiences. There is no experience in my life that has ever been negative in my eyes. It just builds me stronger. It makes me who I am. And it's one of the reasons that you were attracted to me in the beginning.
Yeah, going through the hardest time of your life with a smile on your face and a whimsical, it'll all work out kind of attitude. I'm like, who has that? Who has that in such a time of uncertainty and where it would have crippled most other people? So, and I know you're not the only one that does this, but you're definitely one that stood out in my mind as somebody who had the right to pout and wallow, and you didn't. You just, it's a beautiful day. Why wouldn't we do what we're doing? Why wouldn't we enjoy?
Well, my ex did that, so there was no room for me to do that. Right. I had 3 children to raise.
Yeah, well, it's a sense of responsibility as well, where you weren't allowing yourself that freedom. But nevertheless, everything goes together to make us who we are, and I guess the challenge that we have is trying to keep up with your dreams and goals in a realistic manner that we can achieve them.
So I have a huge creative list of business ideas and things that I want to do, and it does take Jeremy to bring me back to reality sometimes.
Yeah.
Live in the present, in the moment. Okay, are you reading? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I liked Graham's post about his experience. Esther wouldn't have talked to you when you were younger, too. That doesn't surprise me. Nancy commenting on how she had a business in the food industry, needed...
Always wanted,
and knew she needed more education, had the opportunity to go back to school because she was fired from a job. And her story, basically, behind this, if she hadn't had... she wouldn't have had the personal chef catering business if things didn't play out the way they did. So she actually thanked her employer for firing her so that she could move forward.
So I do Michael again has commented, and I wanted to bring this up yesterday. He does know someone who is exactly like me, took the worst case scenario and pushed it aside and said, no, thank you. It will not defeat me today. And she is an amazing soul. And I don't know if she's on. Is Amy on today? And not that I want to get into detail of her story and share her story, but it is definitely, it's a success story. And it personally affects me. I love when she comes in and has groundbreaking advancements that she's done. So yeah.
Yep.
Definitely awesome.
Graham mentions as well, without the support of your partner, you will fail. Well, I agree with that. The support definitely helps. On the other hand, it's not their responsibility to make you succeed.
It's his job to keep up.
My job is to do me to the very best of my ability. Does she help me in that? Absolutely. Is it her responsibility? Not at all. She's got her own journey to do. And we do share that together. We do talk about that in the previous...
and keep up.
Well, yeah, that's my struggle. If anybody can help me with that, that would be wonderful. But no, it is very much our own individual journeys, and she does encourage me all along the way. And Michael says she's here with me, and by all means, you can share the story.
Yeah. So, okay. Amy, we met in Port Dover, the shop in
Yep, the
Port
Port
Dover,
Dover shop.
and she kind of told us her story. So she actually, out of nowhere, ended up having, is it meningitis? Yes.
Yep.
And it put her in a coma, actually. So she was no different than anyone else, working hard every day, had a job, lived her life, had a wonderful support person in her life, and then she ends up with meningitis and put her in a coma for, I'm not sure exactly how long the coma was. But she, now when she woke up from that coma, was told like she had to relearn her entire life. She was also told she probably wouldn't walk again. She wouldn't be able to have that function. And today, Amy actually walks into our store with either the arm support of her significant other, Michael, or a cane. But when I first met Amy,
That's not even a cane, it's a walking
it's
stick.
a walking
It's
stick,
a walking
exactly.
stick. It's amazing.
When I first met her, she was a walker, and that was a huge success story just to get to using that walker. So she is definitely an inspiration of what has happened in the past, and she has taken what has happened in the past and is now utilizing that energy to make her successful in the future. And I know we get off topic sometimes, but that is a definite bring it back around to the topic that we're at, is utilizing the energies from your past to live every minute in the day, and then to work into future goals.
Well, it's a nice reality for me. I'll put myself into this situation. It's a nice reality for me to remind myself of her situation and saying, well, man, if she can do that, what sad excuse have I got for not being able to recognize what happened in the past and move forward with a strength instead of it being a weakness. It's now a strength. I've evolved. I've come from there, or this happened and I can't do anything about it. Where can I go with it today? And by comparison, it seems fairly sad. My stories, my hang-ups, my holding back issues in relationship to Amy's and other people. She's not the only one that we know of, but these are massive success stories that I see all around me, and it's just a humbling recognition. If that can happen for somebody else, what sad excuse have I got for not being able to move forward in my own life? And I talked before yesterday about being forced to that place where I either took a knee or I took the leap of faith. I at least took the leap of faith. And I'm grateful for that experience, because along the way I found the strength to move on. And we're encouraging everybody to be able to do that in their day-to-day practice.
But we're not asking you to forget about your past. That is important. I don't want you guys to forget about your past. We do see a lot of other comments, websites, whatever. They talk about releasing and letting go of the past. Sure. I'm more along the lines of take what has happened in the past, take that energy, stop being victimized by it, and use it today in the present.
Yeah. It's about seeing it from a different perspective, a fresh view,
a different
on
mindset,
an old situation that's no longer serving you well. And that's what we're going to encourage you to do today, is to revisit those thoughts, those issues, the regrets, the sorrows, the woe is me's, and say, oh, but listen, that's what's made me who I am today, and will actually empower me to be somebody different tomorrow. And that's taking a bad and turning it into a good. And really that's what's going to get us through. That's what's going to change our energy today, tomorrow, the next day, etc.
So we all have something in our past, and if you feel like sharing it with us, please share it with us. So if we can't get to all the comments while we're live, we definitely answer them afterwards as well. So, and as do other people read it. So please take the time to share your past experiences that might be holding you back, because what we're going to do next is give you ideas and tools to change that into a positive energy that you can use. So yes, definitely get on there, type away, share away. We want to hear just that one thing that you might be struggling with, or that you resent from your past, or that it just holds you back from moving forward into the future or living presently today.
Amy's feeling the love. And
we love you.
Jackie comments that Michael is a hero in her eyes because or that she's a hero rather in her eyes, and she's fortunate to call her a friend. And I wanted to acknowledge that I think a lot of why Amy is the way she is because of Michael, and we are very blessed to be able to do a hand fasting wedding for them in the previous year, and it's definitely one of the highlights of my 2020 was to be able to share that day with them, knowing who they are and
where they've come from and the struggles. So. Yeah, the two of them together are an amazing couple. You guys watch us and think we're adorable. You should meet these two.
Yep. Yeah, they're pretty amazing.
Okay, so where are you going next with this? Are you going into the application of it? Are you going into tools?
Yeah,
what do you want to talk about?
I think next is I mean, we already talked about where we've come from and recognizing that it's really about viewing things from a different angle. It's about embracing the past. You can't be who you are today if you can't embrace the past. So you really do have to look at everything, the goods, the bads, the regrets, the prides, all those things that have made you, molded you, and shaped you into who you are, and it's about embracing them. Like you say, not letting them go or negating them. Even the most embarrassing, cringing things that from your past, you have to be able to wrap yourself up in them and say, this is why I am who I am today.
So for an example, because I'm all about examples here, I hear a lot of people in the shop. I see a lot of comments that come across our Facebook page about people who were raised in a Catholic situation or a Christian situation. They never felt comfortable. It kind of held them back. And now all of a sudden as adults, they're experiencing other spiritualities, witchcraft, Wicca, anything, and they're feeling more at home, but they do feel resentment towards their family, their people around them that forced them into other religion as a child. So I do hear that a lot. I have heard your story, but you do not resent.
Nope.
You do not feel you were forced. It was just a family lifestyle, and you actually use that spirituality that you learned as a child and through your teens and adult years and bring it into some of our customers and conversations and readings here at the shop.
Oh yeah.
So you're using it. You're not resenting the fact that you had to go through this. You're embracing the fact that you experienced this.
I wasn't sure if he was trying to come in or not. Anyhow, yeah, no, it is. It very much shaped and formed who I am, even on a spiritual aspect of who I am. I relate a lot of my spirituality into the practice of witchcraft based on what I'm comfortable with, what I like about my past aspects of Christianity. The two are tied together in a very tight little package.
It comes in handy that you have this knowledge. Yeah. I mean, I love it because I don't have that knowledge. I have witchcraft. That's my knowledge base. It serves me well. You come from a whole other different genre of spirituality.
Yeah, and if I were resentful of my past, which I am absolutely not, this would hinder my ability to be who I am today. So it really is about firstly recognizing that and then embracing it. Even the things that you maybe wish could have been different, it would have put you on a path for a failure into becoming who you are today, right? It's see how that shift, that paradigm shift of your attitude changes everything. So recognizing it, embracing the past is the first step.
It's the first step.
And the
step
key.
one.
It's not about negating it, pretending it didn't exist, but embracing it. And that is the first thing to do. And if it helps to write this down, to document it, I mean, history is written by the victors, right? Make your history, make it the victory. And that would be something that we would encourage you to do. Physically write it down. Write down the things that you might have felt ashamed about, and then look at it from a whole different perspective.
Change the perspective, for sure. Okay, so we're all about journaling and writing things down here, 100%, because it takes it from the spiritual realm and puts it into the physical realm where you can tangibly do something about it. If you never write this down, you are stuck in the other realm. So I'm encouraging you to write this stuff down. Sorry. You're liking.
Just liking some comments.
He's liking stuff.
Jackie enjoyed the wedding. It was fantastic. No, never off topic.
No.
As long as you're talking about it, you're on point.
Okay.
So documenting it is important because it does say this happened. This is how I feel. This is how I see things, and it is relevant and important. So do make sure to write that down.
Yeah, and when you revisit that written portion 6 months from now, you will see where you were and where you've gotten to, and that's important too, to see your strides and your steps of growing, to see your growth.
Yeah, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. This is you documenting your first step. And tomorrow will be another first step. And the day after that will be another first step. It's always, I had one of these bathroom epiphanies the one day. I've been of the viewpoint, the mindset that I am never more than just a beginner ever in my life. And I all of a sudden had this weird little epiphany where it was like, even if I've done something 50 times, the 51st time I do it will be the first time I've ever done it for 51 times, and how can I do it differently? And it was just one of those like bone-chilling moments where I recognized that this is an opportunity to do it fantastic for the 51st time ever. And I'm not talking about going to the bathroom. That was just where the epiphany hit me. But the reality here is you're never more than a beginner. So every opportunity is a fresh opportunity to do it again for the first time, and it was just that changes the whole game here. Now all the rules are out, and I can really form what it's going to be. If that was too far out there, I'm sorry, but it was just a moment of realization for me how it changed my life from that moment forward. And if you caught it and understand it, awesome. If not, that's okay. Just move forward and go from there.
Just want to say hi to Reggie. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Reggie.
And just a reminder, once you guys get on, just say hello so we know you're here. Yep. We don't want anyone to get missed. We love to acknowledge that people are joining, and feel free to comment. We encourage comments. We encourage the social activity. We're all stuck in lockdown right now. Yep. It's nice to be able to meet on this level, just to communicate and chat. It's motivating. Okay,
Next. So we've embraced the past. We've recognized how it shapes and forms us. We've documented it and written it down.
Yep.
Where's the next logical step here?
Where's the next logical step?
Are you asking me because you can't remember?
Because I can't read your notes.
Oh yeah, my chicken scratching is really bad. But no, the next logical step is to look to the future. Again, I'm telling you not to focus on the future, but it does set our trajectory. It does set our plans and our goals. We do know that if you are living only for the future, you're overwhelming yourself and you're not living in the present fairly well. But there should be a plan. We've been enjoying the show Bones. We mentioned that in one of the previous talks. And it was another aha moment for us. It was a scene where Angela was struggling with her sexuality, with her relationships, all of that sort of stuff. And she was frustrated by the fact that everybody had an agenda. Everybody had a plan on where a relationship ought to go. Where future. She just enjoyed living in the moment and enjoying the relationships for what they have. And I could see both sides of that, saying that that's valid and true. But at the same time, we're right. We do tend to plan for the future. But the problem is sometimes we set those goals as being an absolute, and we don't have the freedom to adjust or change.
Yeah.
I'm going to be this, and every step I take needs to be going towards that. And then when you get there, you're disenchanted because nowhere along the lines did you allow yourself the freedom to explore.
Or if you don't get there, people take it as a failure.
Yeah. So
you have to allow yourself the present time to change those trajectories, change those goals for the future. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have thousands of goals. Am I going to obtain every single one of them? Yes, I will. No.
Am I going to work my ass off to make that happen? Yes.
No, but some of them might not come to fruition for years.
No.
Right? Some get put on the back burner. So I don't want you guys to see them as failures. I don't want you to think consuming all the knowledge on witchcraft is going to make you any better or any less. It's about enjoying the moment right here today. So before this gets too far, because I don't know if you can scroll down.
I can scroll up.
We got Sharon jumped on. I just want to say hey to Sharon, and you're right. Better late than never.
Yep.
Just because we start at 2:00, it doesn't mean you can't meet us halfway in. Marty is here.
That could have been in reference to better late to figure this out. The epiphanies. It can go either way.
Nope, that's true. Marty's here. Hey, Marty. Thanks for joining. Laura just jumped on too. and we got some other comments as well.
Graham, and I want to acknowledge this. This was also, you'll catch up from the parts that you missed before, and why this is part of our conversation today. And I do recognize this, and I don't want to broadcast it to everybody, but I understand fully what you're going through, and I understand where your fears lie on this. And this is what I'm wanting to encourage you on. This is it shouldn't scare you. It shouldn't be something that you're afraid of. If you can change your mindset, change your trajectory, you have the capacity to control where this goes. And I think that that's the key here. It's really about adjusting so that you're not afraid. The problem is, and I know this because I witnessed it as well, the problem is you have a precursor or an idea of where things are destined to head, and I don't believe that that's necessarily true. I believe you have the capacity to say, my future is going to be different, and I would encourage you to find ways to do that. And we can discuss that more. Yep.
You guys are so symbiotic. Just saying.
Yep.
That's pretty awesome.
Yep.
So Michael's back on. He did say one truth Amy and I learned is to celebrate your small victories because they add up to big ones. Bang on. I absolutely love that. So going back to people who come to the craft late, the one book read, the one page read, they all add up to one big victory. So take your time and enjoy the moment because in the end, it all adds up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that is the challenge. And as Jackie Roberts just mentioned, baby steps. You can't run before you walk. We can't get to our end goals without taking all of those steps along the way. The bigger picture is having an idea of where we want to be, but you're not going to get there overnight. It's really about taking it one step at a time.
Melissa.
Yep.
Love it.
Yep. How do you get out of your own head and just relax and let things flow? As a Virgo, I can tell you that is a big challenge.
It's a huge challenge. We are both Virgos, and it is so hard to get out of our heads. So journaling, and Jeremy did a meditation a few days back, and it was about focusing on one task at one time. Mm-hmm. So to get out of your head, journal it, and then just focus on the number one thing that was on that journal. One at a time until you can cross it off. Don't move to the next one. Okay, so for Virgos, it is very hard because we're very analytical people. You got to take a page out of one of the other zodiacs.
Sure. Yeah, and you're not completely defined by who you are as a zodiac as well.
No.
Things are not predestined in the way that we are told or possibly think that they are. We have a lot of scope for freedom and flexibility.
We all have a piece of each zodiac within us.
Yep.
I'm sorry, that's what I believe. Because I show tendencies of Virgos, but man, I show tendencies of other aspects too. You can learn. And as a Virgo, we're very, we love knowledge. So Melissa, study.
Yep.
Right? Learn a way to get out of your head. That will fit right into your forte as a Virgo.
Or instead of, again, on the idea of embracing rather than negating, not being afraid to be stuck in your head. There's nothing wrong with that. What you're thinking, what you're feeling is tangible, but it's really about controlling how you think, how you operate within your head. That was one of the fascinating meditations that you got to listen to.
Yeah.
Did you listen in on that one?
Yeah.
It was about a guru, a swami, who is basically saying, why do you feel the need to shut your mind down? Do you shut your liver down? Do you shut your heart down? No, that's just stupid. Your mind is what keeps you functioning. So instead of getting out of head, working within your head, and that's what we're encouraging you guys to do today. Embrace who you were, embrace who you can be, and motivate yourself towards working your strengths and your weaknesses to attain what you're striving for.
And don't see it as a fault. I think that's the number one thing. Don't see it as a fault. Hey, Janet. Janet just jumped on, and yes, my favorite witch. That would be me she's talking about. Just saying.
How do you know it's not me?
It's me.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to bet?
Well, I am the eye candy.
You are the eye candy, but I'm lovable.
I know. I get it. It's okay. I know my role.
Okay, good. Stay there. No.
Down boy.
Down boy.
Okay.
What's
past,
next?
Present, future. How do we keep this in point? How do we keep it in mind? And I think that this is where the practical application point comes into play. I mean, it's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to visualize it. It's another thing to wrap our minds around it. But how do we keep it in the forefront of our brain, of our capacity? vision boards, great way of doing things.
Journaling, we already did say that.
Did talk about that.
But vision boards. So everyone thinks of a vision board as something of a future goal. So what we want you guys to do is use it as a vision board, past, present, and future. So split your vision board up into 3 aspects: past, present, and future. So before you is always the past and how you're going to change, manipulate, enhance that energy from the past to work for you in the present, to enjoy in the present, and then moving on into the future goals that you might have.
Yep.
Yes?
Yeah, you got to kind of break those down. Now, just a brief recap, if nobody's ever heard the word vision board, it would surprise me, but I thought we'd better clarify that just in case. It's no different than a project that you would do in school. It's really just a visual representation of what you want to see. A lot of people make vision boards for the future, for the things that they want to obtain, to manifest something. It's like a daily visual reminder. It's no different than putting something on the fridge that you can look at every day when you're getting up about your day, making lunch, dinner, whatever, that reminds you of what you want. Like
a new home, a new car, maybe, what are you smiling about?
Jason Momoa. There had to be a reference there. Okay. I defer to Jason Momoa.
So manifestation of anything large or small you would put on a vision board through words, poetry, pictures, anything like that. Whatever speaks to you. Yeah. So instead of just creating a goal-oriented vision board, a manifestation-oriented vision board, we want you to do 3 sections to your vision board. A past, so you're going to put down that that one thing in your past that has hindered you, or that you regret, or that you feel victimized by, or had a traumatic experience. I want you to put that down, whether it be with pictures, words, trinkets, anything like that. Then we're going to move over into the present.
Yeah, yes? You know what? Or skip that and go right to the future with what you want.
Yeah, but I think you need to do the present so that you understand how you want the energy to change and work for you. Okay. So that's basically what you're doing, is taking the past and pulling it into the present, and how you're going to manipulate that energy of the past to work for you in the present.
Yep.
So you never ever go back to the victimized state. You're now changing the energy to work for you.
Yep. And recognizing that the present is really the only thing you have any control over. Personally, if I were to put this vision board together, I would make that the largest of the 3 sections. With the ideas for the goals for the future as well, and creating a visualized, and sure, they can be fantasies. Jason Momoa's probably not very likely, but I don't know, like I would love to have a Volkswagen camper van and just travel around with a little,
doing tarot readings,
a little gypsy wagon on the back for tarot readings. Like that's a fantasy. It's a dream. It's attainable. I would have to sacrifice some of the other dreams and goals in order for that to happen. But whatever, it's really about finding something lofty that we can look forward to, and keep us not stuck in the past, not unfulfilled in the moment, but questing for things that we desire, things that we want and need. And they don't necessarily have to be tangible. This can be for self-love, self-help, healing, whatever
internal,
it wants to be.
For sure.
Okay, so for those witches out there, not only, now, a little side note about vision boards, somebody posted something genius once, and I thought it was funny. They actually posted, biting my tongue, not telling my uber Christian friend that her vision board is 1 crystal and a smudge stick away from witchcraft. I thought was hilarious, because they are very intertwined, and it's very acceptable within the social, the spiritual communities of Christianity to have vision boards or dreams. It's no different than a mission statement for a business or anything like that. We're just putting a different twist,
little spin on it. So hang on while you collect some thoughts here.
Yeah.
So Janet, yes, thank you for admitting that I am right. I am always right. Yes, we know your eye candy is Jason Momoa. But I'm grateful that you're putting Jeremy in the running.
Yep, I'm on the board.
You're right. It's all his attributes that come with is what's so appealing.
It's my mad skills.
It's his mad skills. And then Amy's on here as well. Amy Avery. So Jeremy's cousin.
Yep.
Post-it notes on the mirror for positive affirmations. Very absolutely love that. That's wake up every morning. We have a friend who actually writes right on the mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
So every mirror in his place has affirmations wrote all over them. So it's fantastic. Nancy wants to travel around with you in the dream van as well.
Yep.
So there you go.
So if she gets a dream van,
I'm traveling with her.
oh, okay, all right.
Okay. Megan is on here.
The impatience of the future, holding her back from staying grounded in the present. It's a challenge. Feels like all I think about, especially in these times. It is very important to make sure that it is really all about the here and the now. Dream for the future, dream big.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, I can't remember that quote. It was woe to the man who aims small and meets his dream. Something about reaching for the stars because at least you'll be in the cosmos.
Yeah.
I really should look that one up and remember who that was. Whitman, maybe. I can't remember. But nevertheless, yeah, sometimes the lofty goals prevent us from obtaining them because we're just so overwhelmed by it. No, create a plan. But stay in the moment, grounded, the here and in the now. And if you want to encourage positive energy around your day-to-day living, it is key for that purpose. So, vision boards, we did talk about that, but let's take it to a witchy twist here. Let's talk about how, as witches, we would encourage a transition.
I want a thumbs up, anyone who's watching who practices witchcraft, because I know not everyone does. So thumbs up, just hit your little like buttons just so we can see
Hearts.
that.
Yep,
Hearts or whatever.
We want to see it from the witches.
I want to
out
see
there.
those witches out there.
Yep.
And for those of you who subscribe to this journey, this path, you probably have an altar set up.
Yep.
Yes? Yeah, I would assume it's one of the first things we kind of teach.
Definitely for our MEC members,
yeah.
that was encouraged from the very beginning, was to set up a space where you can daily recognize and practice the craft and reaffirm your beliefs, your understandings, and evolve, change, grow, etc.
Okay. So if we're utilizing our altars, because they're already set up, they're already in place, and we already know to visit them each day for our spiritual necessities, what can we do?
And the same idea, same vein as the vision board, I would encourage you to actually find a thing from the past, that a representation of a thing from the past. I don't know, speeding ticket, your very first speeding ticket to your I don't, just throwing ideas out there. Something that you're ashamed of, something that you feel is a poor representation of who you are. Whatever it is that's holding you back, a tangible thing, and place it on the altar as that is no longer me. A thing for a perspective on where you want to go, a future aspect, and then a grounding thing for who you are now, today, and how you're choosing to journey that path forward. And then revisit, look at those tangible things and say, this was who I was, or I have learned from that, I have grown because of that, it made me who I am today. It's about wrapping yourself up in those pasts and recognizing that you are effectively who you are because of them, and you can't take them away and be the person that you are today, and being okay with that. It's that cathartic release, so to speak, and then embracing the path forward in the future based on the thing tangibly that is on the altar. That would be a practice that I would put into place.
Yeah, because you're visiting every day, so
Yep.
you're actually changing that mindset, changing that energy from the past every single day when you visit your altar. So when you're comfortable with that energy that you once felt was a fault or a hindrance of the past, you can work on something else.
Yep.
You can continuously use your altar as a transformation of energy.
So your altar pretty much stays at home, and that's great. But what's another thing that you can do to help remind you of this? And a suggestion that you had
today,
a talisman, some token of some sort. A sobriety chip is fantastic for people in recovery, for reminding themselves day to day about their journey,
their transformation,
their struggles, their strengths, whatever. It's a constant reminder that is typically in their pocket or somewhere, and it gives them that little thing. It doesn't take anything for you to be able to find something and place your intention into it and say, I am choosing to carry this around to be a reminder of what I am grateful for in my past, where my goals are taking me in the future, but to help stay grounded and focus on what's going on in my life here and now. And yeah, that's a fantastic
one day at a time talisman, basically. Yeah. So you're carrying around a talisman of transformation energy, and it is a reminder to change that mindset, to make that energy work for you. I always say, magic is energy that we can manipulate and work for us. And I know manipulation sounds like a bad word, but it's not. That is what the energy is around me. It's a tool that I can use to make my life better. And the more you change your mindset towards that, the better your life becomes. Mm-hmm. So talismans. So we've got a vision board you guys can do for any spiritualists out there, or for any crafty witches, because I mean, I got the Scooby Gang and they love to craft. So vision boards might be great for you, but you're not just doing it as manifestation. We're doing a past, present, and future. Little affirmation notes. That was a great suggestion put out there. I love that. The altar, that's fantastic. And because we're witches, what else are we going to throw at them today? Magic. Yes. Spell casting, right? This is something you guys can do. Before we get into that, I just want to, Laura, not sure about the workshop stuff yet, because of the lockdown. We can't get together. Palmistry workshop is really hard to do online. I like to be interactive and have people in the space so that I can work with them.
But eventually we will, for sure.
Can you recommend any books that relate to the conversation at hand? Jackie, yes, we can. I will answer that with typing after. I'll answer your comment after the live feed, so that way it's in a written form so you can refer back to it, or anyone else on the feed can refer back to it. And then Amy, what do we got?
I use EFT a lot, tapping those special points on myself. So using the past, for example, what's happened really hurt, upset, broke me. The present, but I accept that, and it doesn't define me. The future, I will do X, Y, Z different to make sure this doesn't happen to me again.
Yes.
Because I know Amy, and I know the path that she's on and where she's going. I would imagine that this was probably not something that you would have done earlier in your life, but because of your path, your career, your focusing now is very effective in changing and adapting you. And as much as I don't lurk you on Facebook. For anybody who's just joining us, Amy is my cousin, but she lives in England. England, Wales. Where are you
now?
Where are you now? But a whole different world away from who we are, but sharing in a like-minded perspective and similar ideas in similar ways. And it's quite fascinating to see how unique and different and far apart we are. We've also kind of shared a similar kind of journey and experience too. Some of those synchronicities are lost on me, and it is kind of reassuring that I'm not the only one that's going through this. Wales, okay, I thought so. And I get pictures from time to time, but I'll be honest, my schedule is full. It is all I can do to keep up with everything going on. Druid Center.
Nice.
Yep. So any techniques that work for you, definitely stick with them and make them work, and do share to the group, share to the page, share to this comment board. But we will give you an idea now on something that you can magically do spellcrafting wise to do it. So the first thing that came to my mind, other than the vision board idea, was a reversal candle, which is funny because we don't actually have any here at the shop. We played around with the idea of making some, and we explored doing that, but we weren't really thrilled with how they turned out, etc. Yep.
Sorry.
The videos do replay. Yes, you will have the opportunity to revisit it after we're finished. Thank you for asking that. So a reversal candle is simply, it starts off one way and then it ends up another. Usually it starts off one color, and then as it burns down, it transitions and changes to another color. And I'm thinking, well, we're in lockdown. Firstly, we don't have any at the shop, so I can't even say, come on in and pick one up. And we really want to encourage you to work with what you currently have or can get your hands on easily and quickly. It's not even about making sales. That's not what this is about. So any candle will work for this. And we'll explore the details of the candle a little bit more. But realistically, here's the idea. What you're going to do is you're going to start lighting a simple or a small candle if possible, whether it's a birthday candle, a chime candle, something small, because you don't want to be there all day. And you want to make a mark halfway through, or if it's a bigger candle, towards the top. And you are allowed to wallow in your negativity until it reaches that point. That's it. I'm giving you the freedom to be able to say, this happened to me.
This sucked.
This was poopy. I did not enjoy this time of my life. Once it hits that mark, you're done. You can't revisit it from that perspective again. So I want you to have a goal for when it hits that mark to say, but that caveat is in there. But at this point now, I am embracing it, and I am choosing not to be a victim because of that, and I am choosing to move forward and wrap myself up in this experience, the lessons I learned, the patience that I developed because of it, the whatever. It's going to be personal to you. You
How
have
I
until
will
that
utilize
line happens to wallow in it, and then no more. You can't put the candle back together. You can't collect up the wax. Most of it's gone. You can't change that. So from that point moving forward, it's a fresh perspective. Now, if you want to take it further, if you want to add more correspondences to it because you are an amazing witch, we can work around the idea of like a lunar cycle.
Yep.
Now, we encourage everybody to do the magic when it's in your idea and you're fresh in your mind. Don't wait for a new moon, which I would say is probably the best time to be doing this type of a spell. You're letting go of the past, moving forward to the future is a very much a new moon perspective. So if you want to enhance the possibilities or the aspects of your magic around this, go for it.
No, that's it. Do it on the new moon. You can use colored candles if you want, but in all reality, you don't have to.
Sure.
The only suggestion we make is that use a small candle, like a chime candle or a birthday candle. Know the burning time of your candle. If you do want to get into colored candles, think of anything like purples or blues. They're really good for that whole transformation, that changing of energy. You can add herbs, you can add oils to it if you want. You can inscribe on the top of the candle if you're using a larger candle.
Yep.
You can inscribe, the past.
Yep.
And then once you hit that mark, you can inscribe how the energy will start to work for you. So it is a very, very simple spell, sympathetic magic. We honestly just kind of threw it together for you guys today.
Sure.
Because we want it to be simple and we want you to have some fun during lockdown. So a reversal candle spell to change what you feel is faulty or negative in the past and have it transform to work for you in the future, in the present and the future. You can do this spell as many times as you want. The key is you cannot go back to the victimized state once you've done the spell.
Yep. And if you want to wrap all of this together, you've got your vision board, you've got your talismans or your tokens on your altar board as to what that is. Embrace the idea of a talisman, whether it's a crystal that's aligned with that purpose or a coin, anything that you want that's going to be a special marker.
You can carry around with you, anything.
Yep, put it in with the candle, include it in the ritual and say, okay, now the candle's done. I have left this state. I am now in this state, and this is going to be a constant reminder for me to keep myself there, keep myself grounded.
I like the coin idea that you just mentioned. Like, I really do. Because you can find old coins, you can find coins from other countries, you can come across anything. Coins are fantastic. You can keep them in your pocket, carry them with you, pull them out. It's no different than a sobriety talisman.
Same kind of idea as that.
I think that's great.
I'm not completely up to date on how that
sure.
kind of stuff works. So
sure.
if I bastardized it or made it something it's not, I do apologize, but I think that the intent of what that was supposed to be about is gotten across.
It's a celebration. It's a celebration of the trials that you've overcome. So
it's just a constant reminder that today is a fresh day.
Melissa, we will actually put this little spell right here in the comments for people to do. It's not hard.
Nope.
It's very simple. It's very, very easy. That's why we're asking you guys to do it, and you can do it as much as you want. But I will type out something after the live feed for you guys to write in your grimoires or Book of Shadows or there's never right or wrong if your intention is what you intend it to be.
Yep.
Okay? So don't fear if you're doing this spell. It's very easy.
Yep, and don't just write it in your Book of Shadows. Actually do it.
Put it. Oh my
play.
Goodness. Put it into use for sure. So, any questions, guys? Throw the questions out there for us. If you have any thoughts or ideas, we want to hear them. We want to see them.
You can call in as well. I think that post probably got lost. I should have pinned it to the top here.
That's okay.
We're learning how this works, so do apologize. Let me see if I can go back to it. Oh, it's way back there.
Yeah, it's way. So anyways,
gone.
we do encourage the call in as well. 226-931-1419. You know what? Jeremy and I are just kind of learning this whole computer system stuff. We've had people
We're
message
such
us.
Luddites.
Yeah.
It's like kicking and screaming into the future.
We've had people message and they're like, "Oh my God, you need a YouTube channel. You have to do a podcast channel."
You should get TikTok. I'm like,
Sure, I would love to, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
And then every time I log
really
into
don't.
Facebook, everything's different. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm good to use Facebook, but
Yeah.
if we go any further than that, I need some help.
Yep.
I'm good at witchcraft, but yeah, this is not it.
We
This stuff.
need a social coordinator.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what else? Anything else you want to talk about for today?
That's pretty much it. I think that is the meat and potatoes. I'm worried that anything more will just distract from the intention of what today's message was really all about. It's about reflecting on the past.
Yes.
Planning for the future, and recognizing that the only thing that we have any guarantee or control over is the present. That is the gist of all things that is magic, the things that are consistent throughout every reading I do, etc. And it is the meat and potatoes of what we were discussing today. All the rest is just seasoning and flavor, and it goes into the melting pot of our lives. So by all means, work some magic today towards moving and shifting your energy from a place of negative to a place of positive. That's the brass tacks there. That's the essence of what it is.
There's lots people can work on. This isn't just a one-shot thing. You have to pick the biggest monstrous traumatic experience you have in your life. These can be small.
Sure.
These can be small. It's about living in the moment.
Yep.
So pick the small thing first and see how that works for you.
Yep.
Don't get overwhelmed by spell crafting, by setting up altars, right? Enjoy it. Have fun. You're locked in. So utilize what you have at home for sure. If you have questions or want to pick our brain about something, about setting up altars or doing the spell, you know where we're at. Hit us on the Facebook page. Hit us on private messenger for sure.
Amy says, definitely picked up my phone at the right time, guys. Love you. We love you too. We talked earlier about synchronicity. That was one of those moments when everything was kind of changing and evolving in my life. I think I was actually sick. I barely remember this situation, but we had to run into Walmart for something before we took a couple personal days. And a random moment, we bumped into Amy from England, and it was just like we're staring at each other, and I'm like, is this happening? What's going on here? Because I had no idea she was in time in the area at the time. And just a brief catch up, and here we are back in touch. Not as much as I'd like to, obviously, and that's on me because my schedule is swamped and busy. But yeah, Amy, love you too. And so grateful to see everything that's coming.
You're on my vision board. I'm coming to see you.
Oh, yeah.
Whether Jeremy's with me or not.
Oh, I'm with you 100%. Any opportunity to go back to England, I'm definitely there. Okay, Melissa's looking forward to tomorrow. Thank yous from Bree. You're very welcome.
I love that you're back, Bree. Thank you.
We will be back tomorrow. We've taken up enough of your time for today.
Not sure the topic.
Oh, yeah, we just kind of pull that out from day to day.
We'll be from our home.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's our day off tomorrow. So we'll be at home, but we're still going to come on and socialize with you guys. My kids will pop in too, probably.
Probably.
So, yeah.
Yep, anything for their 5 minutes of fame.
5 minutes of fame. We love you guys. Blessed be. Keep social, witches.
And you know what? Send us pictures of your magic at work. If you're burning a candle, drop a picture on there for us.
We want to see it. I love this stuff. It's very motivational.
Okay. Blessings, guys. We love you.
Boy, our topics just keep getting better and better.